Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Well. What a day we are having here. And good morning and welcome finally to the MEAC Media Day, and I apologize to everyone that's out there for the technical difficulties that we ran into first thing this morning. But we're here, we're live, and we're available for the MEAC Media Day. And it's just beautiful, and it's great to be here, and it's great to be here live, as I said, from Norfolk, Virginia, and the Hilton, Maine, right here. And it's a beautiful setting. We have all of the players here, and they're taking their time going through and speaking with everyone. And what we will do, we will make sure that we have the opportunity to speak to players and coaches along the way. But in the meantime, what we will do, we will take a look at how we actually got here. And looking at how we got here is just great. The football season here has been going just swimmingly well, and everything that we have is absolutely phenomenal. And some of the things that we have going on is you got all 6 teams that are represented here, and what you have is making sure that everyone is available for us to talk to and available for us to ask questions to. And I have with me, and as a matter of fact, as I get ready to switch over here, have someone by the name of Mr. Orlando Hughes. How you doing there, brother?
Always great to see you.
Now, as a matter of fact, let me make sure I get you turned up here so I can hear you.
All right, you can hear me now, right?
Beautiful. I can hear you now loud and clear. And you just made it in yourself from Philadelphia.
Car's still cooling off.
And see, I made it in late yesterday. And as far as me, my trip was all the way from Indianapolis, Indiana. And I made it in late yesterday, and fortunately, you just drove in from Philly. Mm-hmm. And as a matter of fact, Mr. Hughes, why don't you give us a little bit about your station and what you do?
So it's KRSB Network Incorporated. As you know, we're a mobile media sports broadcast network. We broadcast the game of the week in each of the 5 HBCU conferences. So the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference, CIAA, MEAC, SIAC, and the notorious SWAC conference, your conference. And what we do is we broadcast on the radio. We believe in media. So it's our story told by us, all HBCU alums, and we're all professionally trained, and we're just having fun. So we're your aunts, we're your uncles, telling you about the game. We give you perspective from a strategic standpoint as far as the insights, but also we laugh and joke about only things that an HBCU alum or fan or student can say.
And that's what it's all about, because only we can say things
Correct.
about our local HBCU. I graduated from Jackson State, as everyone
Right.
knows, and
Norfolk State, that's right.
see, and I tell you what, we wear them
Proudly, brother, proudly.
And it doesn't matter
Right.
what you say or who you say it to. And as a matter of fact, as you guys know, I pledge Phi Beta Sigma.
We're not talking about that, but that's all right. He's a proud Sigma. I'll bring my Omega brother in here in a second.
And like we said, everyone makes mistakes because all these prototypes that are out there, and we actually have to make it real. But again, only we can say that about each other.
Oh, yeah.
Because if anyone else says that, it's a fight.
Oh,
As a matter of fact,
I'm taking
he
his
won't even have
microphone.
to fight.
I'm taking his microphone on somebody real quick.
See what I'm saying? He won't even have to raise his hand.
Right.
Well, we both will be fighting.
Right.
But let's get back to the business at hand. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to go back a little bit farther and talk about how we got here, because you weren't able to go to some of the other media days. But before we get into MEAC, let's take a look back at the other three, and then we're going to go full bore into MEAC Media Day. So, and the first one that we're going to start with is the SIAC. And with the SIAC, let's go ahead and get that screen up here for you. And as far as the SIAC goes, as you can see on the screen, you have Albany State from last year. They were the team that actually finished the East in first place. And as you can see, Miles College finished the West in first place. We're not going to go into a lot of detail in terms of everything that's going on. But what's happening here is Albany State and Miles College ended up playing in the championship game. And in that championship game, it was a little rough.
A little rough? I mean, 31. A little rough? Oh, well, let's just say Albany State showed up.
Yeah.
But the other college did not show up. Not one of their performances for a championship.
But the one thing you can say easily about Albany State is that Albany State, they went through this conference like a hot knife through butter. Right. And it was just unbelievable at what they actually did to all of these schools. And it was just, they just destroyed everyone.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, this year, we're expecting pretty much the same thing to take place.
Right.
And let's take a look at how we anticipate the SIAC finishing up. And so this is how we believe their order of finish. As you can see on the right-hand side, that's how they finished in season 21.
Right.
And on the left-hand side, that's the predicted order of finish for preseason for 2022. And I can honestly say I don't see any arguments here. The only thing I have been hearing lately, though, is that Savannah State may be in trouble. I don't know what you've been hearing, but what I've been seeing, what I've been hearing is that their coach decided to go to another school. The players left. They only have one head coach and one volunteer assistant coach.
That's trouble. Even on a Division II level, that's trouble. And Savannah State, their most famous alum, you kind of see him on television every day. But Savannah State needs assistance. They are a former MEAC school that dropped because of travel expenses.
Yeah.
They finished second last year. Now they're predicting to finish third. I think they may be gracious as far as a prediction, as far as their standing. But yeah, Savannah's going to have some problems. I'm shocked here because they're predicting Benedict to finish second in the SIAC. We know Albany's going to run away, but Benedict moving up.
Now let me tell you something. I happened to see Benedict play they played Kentucky State, and as a matter of fact, Kentucky State has a new head coach. Their coach left and went to the Air Force. And as you can see, they don't even have Kentucky State.
Right.
They're not even ranked.
Right.
But I saw Benedict play. Those guys, they never quit, they never give up, they never stop, they never, oh man, it's just crazy how those guys play. So I can see what's happening with Benedict in terms of their move and what's going to happen with them. Benedict, I can see, will eventually make that move and perhaps make that next leap. And with them making that next leap to second place, I just still don't see them defeating
Albany State.
Albany State.
Right.
And they were ranked, oh gosh, in the East. Let's go back and take a look at that schedule. In the East, they were, gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4. They were fifth.
Right.
Almost dead last, but they ended up 2-4 in the conference, 5-5 overall.
Right.
But yet and still, I can see them making that leap. The other schools, I can see Tuskegee has an opportunity to make that big leap. But you don't think so? Come on, Doc.
I mean,
Talk to me.
don't know. I don't know. I mean, the name Tuskegee, the name Central State, you know, once upon a time, but they're not making it happen. And I mean, they're predicting Tuskegee, they're not even at top 8. So
Yeah, that is.
I'm not certain. So
that is true.
Yeah,
that is true.
I'm not certain.
That is true.
I think Morehouse could finish further. I'm not going to dog Tuskegee because I actually like Tuskegee. My other alma mater, CAU, 7th place. That's probably about right. But then these two, Edward Waters and Allen, joining the SIAC.
Yeah, and Edward Waters, they are eligible for conference play, not for playoff.
Right.
As well as Allen College.
Right.
Now, even though we've spent a little bit of time on the SIAC, let's go ahead and move forward and speak about the CIAA. And as far as the CIAA is concerned, last year, let's go ahead and pull up their schedule here, how they finished last year. And as far as the CIAA goes, you had Bowie State finishing on top of the Northern Division, and then Fayetteville State finishing on top in the Southern Division. Both of them went through the divisions like a hot knife through butter.
Right.
7-0, as you guys can see right here. And they played well. But Fayetteville State, they have made it to the championship game 4 years in a row. 4 years in a row. And unfortunately, Bowie State has made it 3 years in a row.
Bronco can't beat a Bulldog.
No.
Not in this game.
And guess what happened? Let's take a look at that.
17-7. I mean,
17-7.
Yeah. And but we just look to our 11 o'clock from where we are, and Bowie State this year, they have a brand new head coach. They lost a lot of assistants, and their head coach is over there taking pictures. I mean, exactly at our 11 o'clock from where we're seated now here.
And as a matter of fact, I was at the CIAA last week, and I was talking about Mr. Damon Wilson, the head coach of Bowie State, and then their head coach came over, and I said,
You forgot about one of those.
You're not the head
suites,
coach.
Right.
And so I was literally caught off guard, guys, at the CIAA press conference. And I mean, I was just floored because I had totally forgotten that Coach Wilson went to Morgan State.
Yes, he did.
And I had totally forgotten about it. And there he is. So let's see about getting some others over here. So if you would, please hold on for just 1 second. How you doing?
Good.
Who are you with?
Morgan State.
Morgan State?
Yeah.
when you guys get the opportunity, I want to have your coach and your players to come over.
Okay.
And because we're streaming live right now as we speak.
Okay. I'll work on it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay. All right. We're back here. And just want to make sure we're trying to get the players and coaches to get over here. But the one thing is you have a lot of media that's coming in, and they're taking the time, going through their interviews. And so it's a good day. It's a really good day. But let's go ahead, and because right now, I mean, you got Damon, coach right over there. I'm like, this is great. Mm-hmm. But it's great because with Bowie State, and here we are, we're talking about Bowie State, and let's go back to that score, 17-7. Bowie State, they performed very well through the playoffs. Of course, they ran up against Valdosta State. And
even that Division I school is perpetrating as a Division II. That's where they are.
That's the best way to say it.
Yeah, Valdosta State has been a FCS Division I program for years.
But yet and still,
where they stay in their lane and they kill their opponents, both them and Northern Alabama.
And see, who are they?
Valdosta State.
Yeah.
So get him come over.
Yeah, and
slide out the way, let him in.
Yeah, and so what's happening here is that when you see these guys, I mean, what do you do? I mean, what do you do when you see a Valdosta State?
Run.
Well, I understand the running part.
Get run.
But you want to put yourself in a position where you can compete. And I've talked to some of the individuals from Albany State. I've talked to individuals from the Bowie States of the world. And I've talked to other entities. And the one thing that they say is that we just have to get better. But the other common thread that I hear everyone say, we must not make turnovers.
It's key in all football games.
Yes, key in all football games. Some teams, depending on how well they play, what happens is that they can recover depending on how good their defense is and how well their offense can play, because you have to get to a point where you forget about what just happened. But if you can't forget what's going on and you are just completely just taken out by everything that's just happened, then yeah,
right,
you're going to have a long day. And that's what has happened to teams that have played Valdosta State, is that they make turnovers. And if you are constantly making turnovers, then guess what's going to happen? You end up losing.
Right.
Yeah. You end up losing. And so these are some of the things.
Coach Odom here too as well. So
yeah.
Grab him.
Who is that?
Coach Odom, Medford State.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, he moved from Southern University.
Yes, he did.
And they have a new coach. I had a chance to interview their new coach from Southern University from last week, and we'll go through and talk about those things that happened with Southern, happened with the SWAC. But as we continue to take a look at the MEAC, and let me make one correction here. Here we are. We're talking about all of the things that, all things with Bowie State, and I do not have Mr. Jackson's name up here as head coach for Bowie State, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we show you some of the coaches, but let's see if we also
I like that. On the spot production and editing.
Look, gotta make
one-man gang here at your street. Michael Jefferson, got a hats off to that. On the spot corrections.
And see, if you can't make the corrections right here and tell the fans what's going on, then you're missing it. But as you can see, you have Bowie State with a new head coach. Virginia Union Their coach has been there since 2019. Shawan, their coach, brand new coach, since 21.
Right.
Virginia State.
New hire.
New hire.
Right.
Elizabeth City, new hire. Lincoln, PA, has been there since 19. And that's just in the Northern Division. And then in the South, you have Fayetteville State. He's been there since 16. Of course, he's taken his team to the championship 4 years in a row. Shaw. And let me say something about Shaw. I have watched this team, and each year, Coach Jones.
He's building something.
He's building something.
He's building something.
And when you see that, for what Coach Jones is doing, and he's taken his team from where they were, 1-9, to where they are now, second place in the division, I can see them eventually probably overtaking Fayetteville State.
Well, they had no home field at Shaw. So you talked about what Coach Jones is trying to do. He's just systematically building. He has expectations of his players, right? He's demanding of his players. And he's the type of old school / new generational coach where there's a lot of old school values, but he can communicate to today's student athlete at an HBCU.
Yes, and see, that's what you want to have, because you got to have that old school mentality to say, okay, we got to hit them hard, and while we're hitting them, we hit them again.
Right.
But you still have to be able to relate, because the students, well, I don't know whether to say fortunately or unfortunately, but the students are different today. They're a little bit different. Can't say whether it's bad or whether it's good.
I'm on your program, right? I'm not on my program. I'm on your street.
And see,
this is not a KRSB Network Incorporated.
And see, I'm a coach. Go ahead.
But I'm just going. I'm going to bring Davey into this. I'm going to give the mic up to Davey. I'm going to shake your hand, Mike, and you're going to get me in trouble.
Look, I'm serious. but I mean, think about it. I'm a coach. I'm old school. And looking at these players, and looking at the athletes of today, and yes, I do have to admit one thing, is that we went out there, and if you look at, let's just take, for instance, Earl Campbell, for one player. He not only was a running back, he ran over, he ran through, he ran over the top, and he just made a hole where there was no hole. Today, he can barely walk. I mean, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Lyle Alzado, and I mentioned this, and I'm bringing names I know you guys, you new kids on the block, may have never heard of, but just go online and just look up these guys. Lyle Alzado, I don't know if you remember him.
I remember Lyle.
This guy,
Suzak, all those crazy,
was just a freaking pit bull. And what happened is that he ran over everyone. Ran through. I mean, he was a defensive linebacker, if I'm not mistaken. He played DE as well. But he retired. But then he came back. But when he came back, he went back on steroids. And when he went back on steroids, the steroids ended up killing him. So during that era, a lot of things happened that were not good. And
it's bigger, stronger. That was the philosophy, bigger, stronger.
Yeah, bigger, stronger, and you had to be better. But so the new generation may have a point, kind of, sort of. They may have a point, but at the same time, you got to have the heart. I'm a track coach, and what I saw in the World Championships this year, oh my gosh. And I'm sorry, I have to digress for about 10 seconds. Sydney McLaughlin. Just killed it. Go online, look her up, 400 hurdles, and she also ran the 4x4. Just killed it. It was ugly. That's all I got to say. So I digress, but let's get back to football here. as we continue to look at the CIAA, we're going to now take a look at the SWAC. And as far as the SWAC goes, we're going to take a look at two things. We're going to take a look at how they ended up, but we're going to have Coach Wilson is going to come over here, and we're going to take an interview with him.
That's right.
Switch over to the next seat here, and make sure he's in. So come on in, Coach.
Where you want me here, there?
Oh,
Right now?
sit right here.
Good seeing you again.
Man, it's great to see you.
Yes, sir. Oh, man. Good. Damon Wilson. Yes, sir.
You want to get in here? Come on, young man.
How you doing there?
Earn the strike.
Earn your strike.
Get on here, PG. Get in there.
Earn your strike.
Uh-oh. And we got the big boys coming in, so I need to move on over. One of you guys, come on in. As a matter of fact, if you don't mind, can you just line us up here? Come on in and have a seat. You know what?
You want to sit or how you want to do?
Let me move over. Somebody can come right here.
Since it's more open, need definitely a little bit more room, huh?
Yeah, definitely. You want to be in it, or you just want that?
Yeah, let me get in here a little bit. See, when you have these guys around you and these
Give me a little favor.
see, I can't. Unfortunately, I can't bulk up like this. I'm 57.
I'm trying to tuck him, man.
You trying to tuck? It's too late, Coach.
It's too late. It's a wrap.
It's too late. But when you are the coach, you don't have anything to worry about. So, but you know what? Before I go any farther, we're here with Morgan State. So let me I'm going to let these guys introduce themselves.
All right, how y'all doing? My name is Bruce Maddox III. I'm a DB that goes to Morgan State, #1, from Atlanta, Georgia.
Damon Wilson here, football coach at Morgan State University.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Dexter Carr. I play O-line at Morgan State from Stafford, Virginia.
Now, Coach, you got a great pedigree. And the reason why I say this is that with Coach, he left Bowie State. We just finished talking about Bowie State. Bowie State just came off of a great run of winning their third in a row, 3 championships for the CIAA. Now, Coach Wilson is here with Morgan State. Coach, why the move?
I think the timing was right. After meeting with Dr. Wilson and Ms. Dean, our athletic director, I thought the timing was right. You know, we accomplished some great things at Bowie State University. Bowie State is home. It's a place where I received both of my degrees from. So it's a place that's always going to be near and dear to me. But it also prepared me for this opportunity. So I'm excited to lead Morgan State University, and I look forward to the success we're going to have.
Now, in terms of leaving Bowie State, you left them in great hands.
Indeed.
So, and I'm going to ask you about Bowie State, and trust me, this is the MEAC Media Day. MEAC Media Day. But I do want to just ask one more question. With you leaving Bowie State, how do you think they'll fare this year? They're projected to win again.
That's it. I expect them to win it again, and I told them that yesterday, 2 days ago at our ring ceremony. The expectation is what it is. You know, we always had the next man up mentality, and that now has gone from the players to the coaches. And tradition never graduates. That's something that we used to always say. So I don't care who graduates this program, our expectation to win the championship. So now that I left, Coach Jackson's in charge. Coach Jackson is a guy that played for me, and I expect them to win the championship this year at the CIAA.
And that much I do understand. Now, with that being the case, you're here at Morgan State. Morgan State last year, they had a record, and let me bring that up on the screen. Last year they had a record of, in the conference, of 1-4, 2-9 overall. Now, of course, kind of a shortened, smaller schedule. I understand that. And with what was going on, with a lot of movement within the conference, you had Bethune-Cookman leaving, and you had Florida A&M. You also had A&T, you had Hampton, and you had some other schools to make some changes in terms of the players. With what you are still, the teams that you're currently playing against, and as a matter of fact, junior. So you have two juniors that have been around the program for 1 or 2 days. And so they've played against the teams that are remaining in the MEAC. With these teams that are remaining in the conference, how do you feel now, since you have a coach with his pedigree coming in to say, okay, what I did there is there. Now, since I'm coming here, we're starting something new, and it's time to build. So listening now to Coach Damon, what do you think, how will you make sure that his philosophy is transferred to the football field?
I believe the way we can accomplish that is buying into everything that he's saying. Don't go against the grain, don't go against what he's saying. Buy into the process. Understand that everything that we do is a process to do it. It's not about the result, but it's about how you get there. It's not about where you at, it's about what do you do to do the things that you want. Insanity is doing the same things over and over, expecting the same results. So with Coach Wilson here, we expect to do things way different. We're going to do things different, we're going to do things better, we're going to do things more. So I believe doing that and having that mindset, we're going to be a much better team. We're going to be better men and better people on and off the field.
Y'all have to say Coach Wilson, I mean, he's a proven winner. He's a winning coach, and he can create a winning culture. And for us, we just got to buy in and we got to lock in. And I know that as a team, we all come together and we just do what Coach Wilson puts in for us. We're going to have a great year this year.
And see, that's the bottom line. As a coach, you have to make sure that your philosophy comes across. And if your philosophy doesn't come across, then guess what happens? Your players can't transfer what you're trying to teach them to the field. Now, with that pedigree that you have, how are you going to start fresh, Coach?
I've already started when I signed the contract at Morgan State. No one cares about what I did in the CIAA. No one cares about what we did in at Bowie State University. Now we're in the MEAC. I'm in a different situation, different players, and we're going to establish something new at Morgan State University. And that's part of that process. I have a process that I must uphold and stay true to, and get the guys to buy into what we're doing as a staff. And they've already started doing that. So I'm excited about it. I'm not a guy that's going to hang my hat on what we accomplished last year, nor would I hang my hat on what Morgan State University football team did last year. This is a new team, new year, and we got different goals, and we're going to go about it differently because we want change. We want change, and that's what we're going to push for, to get better each day.
Well, let me put you on the spot here, Coach.
Talk to me.
Every once in a while, I'll do that.
Talk to me.
So don't put your guys on me. Okay? Just hold them back. And we won't know, as far as the preseason projections, we won't know that until 11 o'clock.
Okay.
But yet and still, you can't, preseason really doesn't matter until you play the game.
Good.
You gotta have the shoulder pads popping and everything. With your pedigree, how long do you think it'll be before you get to that championship game?
When is the next championship in the MEAC? Is it 2022?
Need I say any more? And the reason why I point that out, how do you guys feel about that attitude?
I feel like it's very positive. It's very uplifting. The fact that he comes in now and says, I want to win now, it means a lot to us. That means he's dedicated to the program, because you see how many coaches come in and say it's going to be 2 or 3 years before, he wants to win now. So I believe that he's going to do everything in his power to get us where we need to go right now. And I love that for him.
Yeah, to piggyback off of what Bruce said, I think I love what Coach Wilson did. He sat us down as a team. He told us, we're not going to do this gradual. We come in, we're ready to win. And for me, I'm excited. I know the whole team, we're really excited to get started and get going.
Wow. And the one thing I'll say more than anything else is that when you have a coach like this, what else can you ask for? Now, how many returning players do you have, or did you have any players that you lost? because of you coming in? Did you have any players that you lost?
We didn't lose any after I got hired, but roughly have about 50 to 60% of the team from last year returning. Now, the cupboard isn't empty. There's some football players at Morgan State University, and we're talking about the success I've had and that sort of thing. But it's about the players. I cannot have the success without the players buying into it. So that's one thing from day one. They're going to understand. They're going to make this ship go. I'm going to do the things that I need to do to get them the resources and things they need to be successful. But it's on them. And I think we're dealing with a group of young men that's tired of losing. They want to win. And sometimes when you have to get to that point before you realize what you need to do, and they're talking about doing more. Those guys are started that process. They're working out 7 days a week. We're limited to what we can do with those guys during the day, but they're knocking down the gate to try to get on the field to work. And the facility guy called me 3 times and something like, "Coach, what's going on with these guys?" I said, "They want to work out. You let them work out." That's you don't ever discourage a young man from trying to take an opportunity to get better, and that's something that I believe in. It's something that we're going to continue to do, and I'm looking forward, like I said, to this season.
So they're already ready to work out.
Oh, they're ready to roll. They're ready to roll.
See, I like that smile. I tell you, and I'm sorry. That tells me a lot, because just looking at him, that tells me that he's like, yeah, let's go. How you feel about that?
Definitely. I'm ready. We're definitely ready for what's going to come. I'm not going to say too much, but I'm not sure if the MEAC is.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure.
Really? So, Coach, you have literally prepared these guys to say, you know what? And I'm looking at I'm looking at this schedule here, where you had South Carolina State going through, being undefeated. Mm-hmm. Of course, Central, they only lost 1 game, and with that being the case, these guys are already saying the MEAC's not even ready. So that means you have already given them the mindset to say, you know what, we're coming, and we're coming hard, and we're coming to win.
There's some great teams in this conference, but we're just going to focus on getting better each day at Morgan State University. Everything else take care of itself. The schedule you're talking about is the most important thing on that screen. It says 2021. That's past us. We're not looking at anything behind us.
And this is what he's talking about. This schedule right here says 2021. These are the things that happened in the past. And as Coach just alluded to, what he did at Bowie State doesn't matter. Why? Because and let me say this in the vernacular of someone from Mississippi. It don't matter, because he ain't there. And like I said, you have to excuse me. I am from Mississippi, and if you're from the state of Mississippi, it's pronounced Mississippi. But that's another story for another day. But based upon this, and based upon everything that the players are saying, they've already bought into your philosophy.
That's good. That's good. No, that's good. We got a good group of young men that we're working with, and I'm excited to work. They're smart. They're retaining information. They're working hard, and we're off to a good start for sure.
Well, Coach, I'm not going to hold you any longer, but the one thing I have to say is that I've been watching your progress. I had a chance to interview you while you were at your previous school. I hope that I have another opportunity to continue to interview you as you matriculate, and hopefully I get a chance to see you in the Celebration Bowl.
Yes, sir. I appreciate the coverage.
And I tell you what, much success to you, and guys, much success to everything that's going on. I'm quite sure the legend that's in the conference, he's been there for what, 17,000 years. So
Coach Hughes is a great guy.
Yeah, Coach Hughes. But I tell you what, but this is why they play the game.
That's it.
You have to play the game, and if you're not ready to play the game, you get destroyed.
Indeed.
But guys, much success to each of you. Coach,
Yes,
I know what you expect.
I appreciate it.
Guys, thank you very much. So I'll let them go ahead and go to their next place. And thank you all very much. And as we said, here's taking a look at that schedule again. Taking a look at the schedule again. This is how everything lined up last year. But based upon where we are this year, I really like the attitude of the players. I really like everything that they said and everything that's going on. And I tell you what, I'm going to leave this up here, and as I go and get another coach. Gotcha. All right. Good to see you again. Yes, sir. After you catch it with him, just slide right on over here. Now you're going to the dean now, so you got to make sure, coach. You got to make sure you take care of the dean. Oh yeah. And I tell you what, folks, I'm actually here working the floor as I did at the other locations. Still working the floor and making sure that we see some of the other coaches, some of the other players, and making sure that we make connections and contact with these guys. But it's just wonderful to see how everyone is going around and how everyone is seeing what's going on. But hopefully we'll have Coach Pugh come over from South Carolina State. And then, as I said, we're going to go through and continue to talk about the other schools and the other conferences. And here we are, we talked about the MEAC. And hold on just one second, I want to make sure I speak to this gentleman right here.
What's going on?
Finally. How you doing there?
Yes, finally. I got to see you on the meetings. Like, all right, finally.
Yeah. Yes, sir. And let me give you my card as well. And folks, here we are. We're live, and we have to network. And one thing that we're always doing is making sure that we network live and keep everything going and keep everything going fresh. Yes, I'm live right now. So you want to sit down and say hi?
Sit down. Yes, absolutely.
And see, this is one of the things that we have to make sure that we do is make sure that we come to people and that we make sure that people see us. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us your show and tell us what you do?
Well, I am Jamie Walker of Black College Sports Network. Kind of just the utility guy over there, part reporter, part play-by-play and color analyst for a variety of different entities, and part of the Sports Rap Show, kind of just doing everything for Black College Sports Network, HBCU League Pass Plus, and some ESPN.
And see, this is what we have to do. We have to make sure, because like I had Orlando Hughes in here, and he's going to come back over here in a few minutes, but we have to make sure as what we do, we have to make sure that we network with each other. And if we see something that's going on, hey, bro, hey, do you know about this event? Do you know what's going on? And if we don't, then we miss and we don't help each other. And these are some of the things that we have to do. We have to be able to help each other. We have to make sure that we continue to grow.
Absolutely.
Because it's too much of the, well, I got it and you can't handle it. We can't have that. Not for what we do.
Absolutely.
So, but I know you're working the room, but I just wanted you to come over and introduce yourself and just make sure that, because we have to make sure that we continue to grow and we continue to network with each other.
Most definitely. I appreciate it.
So yes. So as we continue,
we will talk again.
Oh yes, we will. And as a matter of fact, we'll see each other on the meetings.
Yes, we will.
Yes. So be blessed now. And see, like I said, folks, this is something that we have to continue to do. We have to make sure that we continue to support each other and continue with our success. Because if we don't, then what happens is that we no longer will be successful and we will become irrelevant. And we can't have that for what we do. There's no way we can have that. And that's just an area that we must be prepared for. And the more we are prepared, the better we can work, the better things will be. And just making sure that we get this ready for the next person as they come in and get everything going here. But the bottom line is, folks, the more we work together, the better it is. But even though we went to the MEAC, we never did get a chance to finish talking about the other conferences. And let's go and let's take a look at the SWAC conference as we wait on Coach Pugh to come in. And here we are. And here's the SWAC conference. And the SWAC conference was the last conference that we talked about last week. And as we see them, this is what actually transpired. Jackson State ended up winning the East, 8-0, went through the conference, first full season with Coach Prime, Coach Deion Sanders. And Prairie View ended up winning the West, 6-2. But what happened in the end is that in the SWAC, we had Jackson State ended up winning the SWAC championship with the score of 27-10. And even though the game appeared to be out of reach, Prairie View really played that game, and they played them really tough. And just to see how well they played and all of the things that they did in that game, it was absolutely awesome for everything that transpired. But Jackson State, in the end, in the fourth quarter, they went ahead in that second half. They took it to them and ended up winning 27-10. The game was close throughout, and it just appeared that at any moment, Prairie View could have turned the table and have won that game. Coach Dooley really prepared that team for that particular game, and it was a really good, hard-fought game. But as you can also see, I also put together a list of the coaches and what season they're in. For Jackson State, as you can see, Coach Sanders is in his third football season starting. And so everyone pretty much in the East has a few seasons underneath them. But when we take a look at the West, we got a couple of new hires, or at least in Coach Dooley's place, who's the head coach of Southern University. He's been around the SWAC conference, and he has a lot of experience in the SWAC. And he was the head coach of Prairie View. He took that team to the SWAC championship. So he knows the SWAC. The head coach of Prairie View now, Bubba McDowell, he has a lot of experience in the SWAC conference as well because he gained his experience under Coach Dooley. So he has a lot of SWAC experience. He has a lot of the experience that he's going to bring to the table. And Grambling, you have Coach Hugh Jackson with NFL experience. So it'll be interesting to see what Grambling looks like, not just this year, but the rest of the years that's going to come up and how well they will matriculate through the season. I'm interested in seeing whether or not they will be able to put forth a pretty good team and whether or not they will be able to win. And if they do, then wow for them. But it'll be interesting to see whether or not they can put forth that team that we can easily say, here they are, and they look pretty good, and they should win this year. Now, and as we continue to look at the SWAC conference, we also want to look at their predicted order of finish. And here it is. For the East, of course, as you can see, Jackson State is predicted to finish first. And as they finished last year, that's pretty much their expected order of finish this year, except they're expecting Bethune-Cookman to swap places with Mississippi Valley. A lot of people are expecting Bethune-Cookman to do a lot better this year. But the one thing is that there are no easy outs across the board in the SWAC conference. I mean, the SWAC conference, from head to toe, east and west. There was at one time a lot of people could have easily said, you know what, you got Mississippi Valley on the schedule, except when you had Jerry Rice, of course. That's an easy game. We should be able to win that game, so we shouldn't have any issues. However, now with what they have and with the coach that they have, that's not going to be an easy out. And it'll be interesting to see how well they continue to play this year, and whether or not they'll have any additional wins. So I'm trying to see if I can get some others' attention over here. And get the football players to come over here for South Carolina State. And if I can get them to come over, we're going to get them interviewed for you. And oh yes, and come on in, guys, and have a seat. So we got these. See, they're so big. They gotta unbutton the jacket just to make sure that they have room for themselves. Because otherwise, it's gonna be tough sledding.
We all in? I don't know which camera we're looking at. This one?
We're going to be looking at that one right there.
Okay.
So let's make sure we get you here, and we also get you set up over here. So let's test those mics out.
Check. Mic check.
See, they already know what's happening. So I don't like him. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Let's see, swing it on over a little bit more. Yeah. I'm just gonna say this up front. I don't like this brother. I don't even know him. He doesn't know me. And I'll tell you what. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's find out who you are. Go ahead.
I'm Corey Fields, Jr., quarterback.
My name is Jabrowski Green, Jr., defensive end.
Now let me let these guys know why I don't like them. And I'm gonna say 2 words. Jackson State. And these brothers are laughing already. I hate them right now. But now, you guys came out last year against Jackson State in the Celebration Bowl. When I saw you guys warm up, this is just warming up. You guys warmed up like you had a chip on your shoulder. Why?
We come from South Carolina State. We did play football, school, and handle our business. We know at the end of the day, coming to the game, that we was looked at like we just was there having fun. People was asking what we here for. It was like celebration of all your team playing Jackson State. They didn't know our names, so we took it as a chip on our shoulder, like we had all season, knowing that we was the underdogs, and come finish on top.
Just to piggyback off of what he said, coming into that game, we was just disrespected from the moment they said Jackson State was going against us, and everybody was like who is NC State? Like, they going against Coach Prime, that's nothing. We was like, what? We got Coach Pugh. We got one of the best legacies in HBCU history, so like y'all don't know who we are? All right, bet, we're gonna show you.
Yeah, and I can tell you, one other thing I remember in that game more than anything else. 4th and 19. Go. Talk to me.
Going into that whole play, I knew it was third down long. There was 4th down. They brought the punt team out. I was like, okay, we're gonna go punt it. Then they called timeout. Coach was like, bring the offense back. I was like, oh, what are we gonna do? I didn't know what we was gonna do. I was just gonna run and get the short field, kick the field goal, so forth. But he was like, all goes, go to the best matchup. I was shocked myself. I'm not even gonna lie when he called it. I was thinking back, drop back, throw it, get to the chains.
Did you at any point in time disrespect that defense?
Did you see something in the defense that says we can win this game?
I would have to say the very first play, I believe, it was a blowout to Shaq, and I underthrew. I was like, oh, it's gonna be a long night. It's gonna be a long night. It was I think it's to the far left side. He was in the slide.
Oh yeah.
He threw a fade, I underthrew.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's gonna be a long night. I knew they was gonna play man. So I was like, we got a lot of people who can run.
Yeah. But what turned the game for you guys last year? And I'm going to get to this game. I'm going to get to this season. But what turned that game that you believe said whether, because the game turned, I think the game really turned what I saw when you guys were warming up, honestly. That's what, I'm a coach. I coach track and field. But yet still, I know what I see. And you guys came out in the first quarter. No, you guys came out in warm-ups, just chipping with an edge on it. But what, so you said, oh, it's going to be a long day during the first play. And I remember that. But what, in your mind, turned that game?
Started out, we was down 7-0, and then our coaches was like, somebody need to make a play. And then me and Gabo got the strip sack on Shador, and then we turned around, Corey and them scored. We went up 10-7 going into half. Came back out of halftime. I got a hit on Shador that caused an interception. And then the very next drive, he threw another interception.
Yeah.
So we was like, yeah, this is where the tide turned right here. This is where we go crazy.
In that second half?
Yes, sir.
I have to agree with that as well. I think that was the second quarter. We got the script set, and they brought it down to the 3.
Yeah.
After we scored, and Dukes made another stop, I was like, I think it's the time right here where everything's going to go the opposite way.
Yeah. Now, we won't know for this year where things are going to be, where they expect the preseason, who they expect to be the team for this year to be preseason picks. Mm-hmm. But you guys are defending champs. 1, for the MEAC. 2, you're defending Celebration Bowl champs. Do you think anybody's going to touch you this year?
I mean, in this league, it's always come down to one game. So, I mean, this is a hard-nosed fight type of league. So you can't take any game for granted. You got to give it all every game because every team in this league is dangerous.
Yeah. And I just happened to speak to the coach from Morgan State. And one of the things that he said, I said, when do you expect, and brand new coach, Morgan State, his pedigree is he went to the championship game for the CIAA 3 years in a row. Yeah. Went there 3 years in a row. And he won 3 years in a row. Mm-hmm. They went deep into the playoffs 3 years, especially this year. And of course, they lost to Valdosta State. And I'm going to let the actual dean of football take this seat.
Can I stand up back here? Can I just...
No, sir.
No?
You are going to take this seat, and I'm going to be off camera. So,
is that the way it works?
Yes, sir. And you're going to give him your mic.
Give it to the guy.
Good talk. That it? Hey, y'all. What's up? Let's go.
Yes, sir. So how are you doing, Coach?
Good. How about yourself?
Doing fine.
Thank you.
And I'm going to be off camera. So,
okay.
And I'm good with that because, like I said, we have to make sure that the coach.
Yeah, well, no, I don't know if that's
in the media. Oh,
no. Squeeze.
Yes.
We can squeeze it.
No, sir. This is your show.
All right, go for it.
So, Coach, and what I've been asking the guys, we've been talking about the Celebration Bowl and what you guys did to Jackson State. And the one thing, because I interviewed you right after that game, and the one thing, and I'll reiterate this, when you guys came on the field during pregame, you guys practiced like you had a chip on your shoulder. Why was that?
Well, I don't know if we did or not. We do things kind of the same all the time. One thing that we always try to do is set a routine and continue to do things exactly that way all the time. So when you get to something And it's a little bit different than you know how to go back and reflect on exactly what, because you just do what you've done, you know, in the past. So our pregame routine is an exact kind of movement. And, you know, it was a game where we sort of knew that if we did the things that kept them from getting easy stuff, long runs for punts and kickoff returns, interception returns,
That's right.
turnovers.
You did not kick to their return.
Exactly. It was obvious that so the plan was in place to make sure that we did whatever we could to make them have to do as much as they could to score as opposed to having to do little to score. If you look back at their games last year, half of they beat Alabama A&M to death down in Alabama. All turnovers and kick returns, that kind of stuff. So it wasn't a situation where they were that much better than the teams they were playing. It was teams that were playing were giving them stuff. And so you could see that over the season. And lots of times when you got a bowl game that way, you got more time to reflect and pay attention to the team. You get a chance to get into them and really understand exactly what's, you know, their team about and how they make their hay. And, you know, this was a situation where we knew that if we made them earn everything, then some of the things they probably couldn't.
Now, I just finished asking your players, and I got to go back to you, Coach. 4th and 19.
Yes.
Did you see something in that team?
Well, it
said,
was
I'm going to ask you this way. I'm going to ask you this way.
All right.
Did you see a point that you could take advantage of the team?
We did.
Or did you see that, you know what, they just can't stop my offense?
Well, it wasn't that as much as we kind of had them they were in a little bit of limbo as to exactly what our plan was at that point.
Yes, true.
Because we were kind of in no man's land. We were too close to punt it to them, but we were too far away to kick the field goal. So when I ran the field goal team out there, and I'm getting beat up from everywhere. I got the defense saying, go ahead, coach, go ahead and kick it. The offense is saying, I don't know. And the special teams guys say, hey, man, you can't make this. It's too far. So the whole time that's going on. So they said, well, get the offense back on the field. I said, I'll tell you what. I said, let the clock run all the way down to 0. So I told Corey that we were going to call it. I told who's the holder at that time? Dyson. I told Dyson, we're going to call a timeout. I said, but just let it run down because we're going to run as much clock as we can. And then what we did was we held the offense on the sideline all the way until right before we got ready to go on the field. So they didn't know, but we had both the offense there and we had the defense. We had the field goal team there too. So we had both our two teams sitting there together. Yeah. So at that point, then my offense coordinator said, you know what, Coach said, I think we can hit them on the comeback route. I said, you know what? I said, it's there, isn't it? I said, because if they play us soft, I said, because right now they're going to be zoned. They ain't got a clue, you know, that we actually going for it. They first of all think that we probably going to do some kind of fake or something. So at that point, then, you know, but when we ran the offense back out there, then he had his defense on the field, which probably mostly was a field goal block team. So at that point, then we ran them out there, and so we said, let's go with the comeback route. And Corey threw the most. From that point on, everything he threw was good.
And I have to admit that. Absolutely gorgeous pass.
Thank you.
Absolutely gorgeous pass. And you're talking to someone who graduated from Jackson State.
Thank you, sir.
And but first and foremost, you got to give credit where credit is due. Absolutely gorgeous. And that was one of the best calls that I'd ever seen. And as far as I was concerned, that just said, you know what? I don't have that much respect for the defense. They're getting all of the accolades, but I can put my player in a position where he can be successful. And you put him in a position where he was successful.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that the route was not a hard route to throw if you timed it out just right. And we'd had it a couple times earlier in the game and hadn't hit it. So we had missed it a time or two, but you could see it was there. So I think I think you thought it was good. So he was confident in the fact that we could hit it. And Wolverine ran a nice route and made a nice break on the ball. And the next thing you knew, ball was right on top of the bang. It was perfect.
And the game was over.
Well, it wasn't over, but because the next play we got sacked again or something like that, and then we come back after that. He threw the cornerball to. Listen, Richard Bailey gonna be the guy that really gonna be mad with you because you didn't call his name over there. I forgot about that until you said that. You said that until that happened. But the guy who caught the touchdown pass right after that on the cornerball was his high school teammate. So they've been playing together for all their lives. So he's been a great guy, and all these guys in grad school now. So it's really fun the fact that they've done that way. Yeah.
So this year. With we don't know what the preseason picks are going to be in terms of first, second, third, fourth, or fifth. But how do you think your chances are at making it back to the Celebration Bowl? Because you started off last year 0-4.
Yeah. Well, we were 1-4. Which is bad.
But look at what you did after that.
Yeah. Well, we still lost 1. Yeah, we lost the A&T game. That still sticks in our craw in a way where we probably shouldn't have lost that game.
Oh, wow. I'm looking at your players, and they're like, we want to see them again.
Well, let's hope so. Wow. We played them at A&T, and that's a great rivalry for us. So, we've been looking forward to doing that deal. But as far as getting back again this year, you're right. I mean, it's not a given that we'll be the choice, that we'll win the league again, in 2022. But I can tell you this, and that is if we don't win it again, then we'll feel real bad about the fact that we will have missed an opportunity because we got the personnel returning. We got to have the good leadership and the chemistry and all that kind of stuff to make our team go about its way to be successful. The most impressive part about our football team last year was the fact that they just kind of overcame so much adversity, and the fact that they just never would say that in a situation where you have every opportunity to go ahead and pack it in. They never did. So in a case like this, I think this team will continue to be that way. I think we got enough of those individuals returning that our team will continue to be that kind of demeanor again this 2022 season.
Well, I know this year because you have Coach Odoms. This is the second season. Norfolk State.
Yes.
You have Coach Wilson.
You got Coach Wilson in his first year. You got Trey Oliver at Central. Trey finished second last year in the league. So that guy's there. Larry Scott from Howard is a guy. Okay? So you got to be on your P's and Q's. Who did I miss? We got Howard. We got Morgan. Delaware State. The coach of Delaware State. We played Delaware State 3 times last year. We played them 2 times in the spring.
That's right, 2 times in the spring. That's right.
And let me tell you, you talk about tough. and they catch that wheel right on the backside of it, they beat us up at Delaware State. So I'm telling you, every game that we played last year, we had a chance to get beat. So you're talking about a situation where it's not that much space. So we got to be on our pieces. So we got no reason to run to talk about we suck, Ohio State, we suck big stuff, all that kind of stuff. All of them guys can beat us. And we're going to be able to talk about that all year long. So nobody should be able to slip up on us and beat us in a way where we can say, well, we didn't know they were going to beat us. Hell no, we knew they could beat us already. So that's what our big mission is going into the 22 year.
Well, I had a chance to interview Coach Wilson last year when he was with Bowie State. Now, let me, I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. He's already said, so my question to him was, when do you think you're going to have a team prepared to win the championship? His answer was, isn't the MEAC playing a championship in 2022? I said, yes, sir. Well, we planning on winning in 2022.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, I bet you is. And we go there. Let me tell you what, now that's a tough deal too now. We go to Howard and to Morgan. And Morgan last year was not very good. Okay, that was one of the weaker teams, but talent-wise, I thought, and the big issue with Morgan last year, they didn't play the previous spring at all, so they were off for that previous.
Oh, yes, they were. Yes, they were.
So they had a big lack in their competitive edge that way. Now he's got them back now going again, and I guarantee you they'll be pretty good. And then you got the Howards in the world, all the rest of those guys in the world, everybody in this league, will get after us in a way that we got to really be on our P's and Q's.
Yes, sir, that's right, because they're looking at the Celebration Bowl champ, the team that took out Jackson State, I guess you could say, the team that is supposed to be the HBCU perennial team. And so, see, I graduated from Jackson State. I love your attitude. I'm just going to state it up front, and I'll tell you why. It was because when I said that, you were like, I can't say what I really thought you said, but I like your attitude because it's like, yeah, and we beat the hell out of them. And see, as a coach, I appreciate that. And I can say what you have put into these guys, I appreciate that.
Well, there's a lot of confidence there, but at the same time, you got to have some humility too as you go about your way, because you never know when things aren't going to go your way.
Yes, sir. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Well, Coach, I'm going to let you go, and so
now, what's your name again?
Michael Jefferson.
Michael, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I tell you what.
Well, you give me a card, but I just wanted to keep up the card. I don't remember that.
Oh, well, I tell you what, I'm going to get.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to give them a card so these guys, they're smart, they remember.
Because I do want to make sure that
But now you did a radio show, you did a radio TV show. We did a deal on the field after we shot the TV show last year.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I remember that part. Yeah.
And I made sure I aired that the next night.
Is that right?
Oh, yes, sir. And I showed you live.
That didn't give you a whole lot of doggone.
No, I tell you what. I had some South Carolina State fans who live with my, where my mom lives. And she said, "Oh, you did a great job. That was a great interview." Oh, she absolutely loved your interview. So yes, sir. So, oh yeah, you got some fans out there, and they were looking for it. And they were like,
some non-fans too, but no, that's kind of how it goes everywhere, I think.
Well, Coach. Well, God bless you, man. And I tell you what, I look forward to you guys being successful again this year, and I'll just keep my eyes open. And look, keep the attitude. I'm sorry. I like players with chips on the shoulder. That's just me. That's just me. And every once in a while, you have to play with a chip on your shoulder because people are like, whatever. So keep the attitude.
Yes, sir.
Keep the humility. Just like Coach said. You have to have the humility. But I like the chip.
Yes, sir.
Love that chip.
All right, appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Coach, looking forward to seeing you next year.
Mm-hmm. See you.
Yes, sir. Actually, I look forward to seeing you in December.
Yes.
And that was South Carolina State. And as I said, I look forward to seeing them. Come up. Yes, sir. How you doing there?
Good, man. Did you want Central?
Yes, sir. Please bring them over.
I got you.
Yeah, so I tell you what, and now we're looking to bring over North Carolina Central to come on over. And that's Coach Oliver. And make sure that we get him in and get him in and get him interviewed. And as soon as we get him in, we'll make sure that we have that conversation going and see what we have. Yeah, but this is but looking at what the coaches actually bring to the table and where we think they're going to go. As I said, I would love to see whether or not the South Carolina States of the world can come back and win again this championship season. It's going to be a tough road to hoe because, I mean, you just heard Coach Wilson say, you know what, we expect to win this year. He's not even thinking about anything. He's expecting to win this year with Morgan State. What place did Morgan State finish? Morgan State finished in last place, but that was last year. So this year, guess what's going to happen? We're going to see what's going to happen with this team, and it's going to be very interesting. But now we have North Carolina Central coming over. Got to have the coach sitting right here. All right, how you doing there? Coach Oliver, how you doing there?
Man, outstanding, man. Outstanding.
Another beautiful day, right?
That's it. That's it.
So why don't you go ahead and...
Where we are doing or no?
Another player.
Oh, yeah. Tell you what. Let me get up
and I'll be off camera.
Are you going to sit there? Yeah. Okay, we're good. I'm sorry, what network is this?
This is Block Sports. Block Sports.
Okay.
Michael Jefferson, coach. And
Yes,
nice
sir.
to see you.
All right, Brandon Codrington here, corner for us, and Mr. Pee Wee.
So why don't you pick up a mic?
Okay.
And I tell you, and yes, go ahead and take that one. And Coach lost one game last year, and it happened to be to South Carolina State. So how close are you this year to saying, yes, we can make it, and we think we can make that next step?
Well, I told Buddy Pugh last night at dinner that we're going to come down there and we're going to get after him in Orangeburg. No, Coach Pugh and I are good friends, man. I have nothing but respect for him and what he's done. Definitely going to be a Hall of Fame coach here in the conference.
Needless to say.
Right. I hope they do it soon. But, there's a lot of areas we need to improve on. Obviously, we need to start faster. We can't get down in games early in the first half. We must improve our kicking game. We missed 2 field goals and an extra point and lose by 3 points.
Yeah.
But overall, across the board, offensively, I think we have I think we should be very explosive this year. Defensively, we have a new defensive coordinator that has come in, Courtney Cord, and has done a really good job since he's been here. And he's known for stopping the run. So we've got to be able to play a little bit better run defense and create some turnovers so we can get the short field for the offense.
Now let me go back in history a little bit. MEAC SWAC Challenge.
Right.
Alcorn State University. You guys were not expected to win. You weren't even expected to be on the field against these guys. At least so that's what the prognosticators were saying. Alcorn went down the field at first play, kind of easy. Their second possession, all of a sudden things started slowing down. As I was watching that particular game, I saw how Alcorn actually played that game, and they were saying, oh yeah, we got this game. Yeah, we're good. We got this game in the bag. And that's how they actually approached the game. But the one thing I saw in Central is that you guys kept saying, we got this, we got this. Why was that attitude? What brought that up? Either one of you.
It's really hard to explain. It's really you have it or you don't. Like I said, I mentioned earlier, Coach Oliver, he says, when something good happens, keep playing. When something bad happens, keep playing. So I feel like after that first drive, we just came together and we were like, okay, everybody got our nerves out. Now it's time to play ball. So I feel like, it's just a mindset. Whatever happens, just keep playing.
Being an underdog, people don't expect a lot from you. Expect you just, like you said, everybody picked them to win, so they expect us just to come up, not do anything. But like Brandon just said, and Coach Oliver said, when something good happens, keep playing. When something bad happens, keep playing. So we kept that same mindset, that same attitude the whole game, and then you seen the outcome.
So, Coach, what did you see in that game that said, you know what, Alcorn did kind of go down there that first series. What did you see in that game, and what are you seeing is the major difference between what you guys played in terms of brand of football in the MEAC as opposed to the brand of football that's being played in the SWAC?
Right. Well, I think the big thing, I knew the talent and the young men that we had in our locker room, and as long as we didn't panic, we were going to be just fine. So when I came in at halftime, I said, guys, look, it's obvious y'all can play with it. All right, so let's just relax and just play football. I had the opportunity to coach in the SWAC for 7 years at both Grambling and Southern, and I've been coaching the MEAC for a while as well. I just think that here in the MEAC, we're underrated.
Yes.
They didn't pick us. We didn't have a chance against Alcorn. They didn't give South Carolina State a chance against Jackson State. But we just play football here. We don't have a huge social media presence.
But we just put the ball down and play football. I think that we play physical football in this conference. I think we understand that you have to be able to run the football and have to be able to stop the run. But we play good ball here. And if you look over the past decade or whatever, decade and a half, I think the record kind of speaks for itself. With us being, I believe, 11-4 in the SWAC MEAC challenge, and 4-1, I believe, 5-1 in the Celebration Bowl. But I don't know why they keep sleeping on us. We weren't in the top 10 this year. We came second in our conference. But like I said, guys have a chip on their shoulder, and you don't get championships or rings for preseason. So, we're excited to put the football down and show, the HBCU world, what we're about.
And as a matter of fact, the upcoming MEAC SWAC Challenge, you have Howard University going up against Alabama State. And again, no one is giving Howard University a chance on God's green earth to even be close in this game. But yet and still, they said the same thing about Central. And what was the outcome?
I mean, I don't get it. I really don't, and it's no disrespect. I mean, I think the SWAC is an outstanding conference. I think they have some really, really good players there. I just don't get it. And, Alabama State has great history and tradition.
So what do you say about this year? How do you feel about Central's chance this year of being able to knock off South Carolina State? And then you have Morgan State with a brand new head coach with the pedigree. He just came in from winning 3 championships in a row with Bowie State. And now he's coming in and he's saying, oh, wait a minute, they're the championship this year. So we expect to be in the championship game this year. And that was a quote from him on this show.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. I've known Coach Wilson for a long time.
Yeah.
And what he did at Bowie State, and he didn't have everything that a whole lot of other schools had. People don't understand that he wasn't, didn't have a full allotment of scholarships, didn't have a whole lot of things, and he was still very successful.
Yes.
So I think we have some outstanding coaches in this conference. First and foremost, the dean, Coach Buddy Pugh.
Yes, the dean.
I mean, he's unbelievable. He's unbelievable, and I mean, he always takes his little shots at you. He always takes his shots at you. But he said last night, Coach Allen, how long you been in Central? I said, man, I've been there 4 years. He said, you know what? I lost some money on you. I said, what's that? He said, I told him you'd never make it over 2 years. No. So, I mean, that's just Coach Pugh, though, man. That's Coach Pugh. I love the death.
But you know what? You have to have fun. And only we can say these things about other HBCU schools. I graduated from Jackson State. Now, if someone says anything negative about Central,
right,
to me, it's a fight. I'm sorry. Because we're an HBCU family.
That's it.
And that's just the way I feel. And I take it personal. I really do take it personal. Yes, I graduated from Jackson State. I have cousins that went to Alcorn. My son graduated from FAMU. I have others that went to Prairie View. So you talk about any HBCU, it's a fight. Now on the field, that's a different story. I don't like you. But but after the game, we're family. And that's the way it's supposed to be. We're supposed to help each other.
Right.
And when I look at that, MEAC, 11-4 all time in the MEAC SWAC Challenge. You mentioned in the Celebration Bowl, 5-1 overall. No one gave South Carolina State a chance last year in the Celebration Bowl. You guys almost played in the Celebration Bowl. And thinking about what you guys did to Alcorn, just saying a never say die attitude, because you guys still almost, just like you said, you still almost beat South Carolina State.
Right.
What do you think it'll take this year to win that game?
I think it's going to take just us playing our game, us doing this, going out there putting our best foot forward. Because I believe in a lot of guys in the program. I see what they can do. I see the type of work they put in. So we come out there and just do what we do. I think we got a pretty good shot.
Yeah, Davis couldn't have said it any better. I feel like if we play our game and we do what we're supposed to do, then I don't see them beating us this year.
Coming out there and being number one and then going to Celebration Bowl. Do you think it's necessary for the MEAC, and I'll ask this one of my last questions so you guys can go to the next location, but do you think it's necessary for the MEAC to have a championship game?
No, and right now with us only having 6 teams, I don't think that makes sense. We were in a long meeting yesterday with all the coaches, with Commissioner Stills, and I was excited to hear about her plan and vision for the conference. Not everybody out there in HBCU world understands what's going on, but they do have a plan, and I was excited to hear it. The coaches were pleased to hear the plan. Part of it, what some of the coaches recommended was let's play more SWAC schools, non-conference. And I've personally called Dr. Scott down at Grambling, let's play. I've called Jackson State, let's play. I love to play Southern. Those guys, aside from just classics, let's do a home and home. And very rarely do you see SWAC schools coming to the East Coast to the MEAC campuses. So let's do it. And I think that'll help with this conversation about MEAC versus SWAC. Let's play.
Yes.
Or let's continue to play, and let's play.
Yeah, because see, right now, what you're seeing on the screen, this number says a hell of a lot in terms of the MEAC SWAC challenge. And as you can see, the MEAC is 11-4 all time in the event. Now, in the different games outside of the MEAC SWAC challenge, SWAC may have won 1 or 2 games because I think Alabama A&M defeated South Carolina State last year, but it was not in a SWAC MEAC challenge game. But at the same time, in this MEAC SWAC challenge, that's what you got. And yes, it would say even a lot more if that did transpire, and it would be good to see more games with you guys. Because I will say this much, and I'll let you guys go on this. I respect your brand of football. Been paying close attention to what Central brings to the table. Love what you guys do. The only thing I can't give to MEAC is the bands.
Oh,
I marched in the Sonic Boom of the South, so I'm sorry.
Let me tell you this, man. I got to focus on what the task at hand, that's coaching football.
Yes, sir.
But I've got to give the edge when it comes to bands to the SWAC. And I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna be honest. The SWAC bands are something now. Yeah. They are something. I've been at Grambling, I've been at Southern, and
Grambling, but anyway, Southern, yes.
You out there during the game, and they don't believe in not stop playing when balls in play. So
no,
that is a little different. That's a little different. But last time, let you go. I talked to HBCU, my man Gaither over there. How is South Carolina State not ranked number 1 in HBCU right now? How is with Buddy Pugh, won a Celebration Bowl, have all those animals they have coming back, and they not pick 1, and we can't get in the top 10?
Who's number 1?
Either Jackson or Fam, one of them.
Exactly. And need I say why? Is because of what. Now, the one thing I will say is this: I will say that Coach Sanders has brought more eyes on the HBCU world. So I will say that more than anything else, he has brought more eyes. So you have more people now watching our brand of football. And I have to say our brand. That's the Jackson States, the Florida A&Ms, that's the Bowie States, that's the Stillmans, that's the Livingstones of the world, the Shaws of the world. So he has brought more eyes on HBCU football to say, you're damn right, we play football too. Mm-hmm. North Carolina Central, the South Carolina States, the Delaware States, we play football here as well. So why are you overlooking the Central, the Morgan States of the world? You cannot overlook us because, yes, we play football as well. So we should have a seat at the table. And so I will give that to Coach Sanders. But the one thing you cannot say is that Jackson State, and I'm a grad of J-State, you cannot say Jackson State is the only game in town. And with that being said, Coach, I'm going to continue to watch Central. Like I said, my son graduated from FAM, Florida A&M. Yeah, he had a lot of great things to say about Central. So I will continue to keep my eyes on you guys, see what you guys bring to the table, and much success.
Hey, should be an exciting season, man.
Oh, it's going to be a great season. I tell you what, I am really looking forward to this year, and I think it's going to really be fun. This is, this is your fourth season.
Fourth year, third season.
That's right. That's right. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what you're going to put on the field this year, because everything that you've done with Central,
we're just getting started, man.
I know. I know. I've been watching. Like I said, I've been paying attention. So that means you have been putting forth his philosophy, which is a great thing to see players listen to their coach. So much success to you guys, and I will be watching. And let me know if there's anything I can do in terms of putting forth any of your games, covering your games, or anything. I'm there for you.
You have information?
Yes. So let me know. And also, if you don't have a weekly show, I got you covered.
Okay. So we'll get you with Kyle and everything else, and we'll see.
Yes, sir. Because I know a lot of things have to be materialized, but yes. So if that's something we can do, yes, sir. Let me know.
Thank you so much.
Be blessed, and look forward to seeing you guys this year.
Yes, sir.
All right. And that was North Carolina Central, and with what Central is bringing to the table this year, this is going to be an absolutely awesome year for Central and what we think they're going to do. And I tell you, this is good for the school. This is good for everything that we have. And as I come in and take a seat, I'm actually scoping the room, trying to see who else I can bring in. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to take a look one more time and see about bringing in someone else. But I'm going to leave on the screen for you the coaches and where they landed last year. So I shall return. I am back, and with me I have Coach Odom, and this is the coach for North Carolina's. I'm sorry, I'm already screwing up. I will be okay.
That's right. That's right.
He is the coach for Norfolk State University. And Coach, why don't you introduce yourself and just expound on what you're doing, how many years you've been coaching, and going from there.
Well, how you doing? This is Dawson Knowles, the head football coach of Medford State University, and it's a pleasure and an honor to be coaching for an institution with great pride and tradition and passion and understanding of who we are as people and where we're trying to go, and having the belief that we can get there. This is going into my 24th year of coaching, and this year is as exciting as it was when I first started coaching. I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I always believe that when you get up in the morning and all your troubles are behind you, you got a chance to solve problems and not create. And that's the kind of program that we run. We're a process-driven program, and we really believe in that and buy into that. And we're looking for great things in 2022.
Well, Coach, this is your second season at Norfolk State. Now, being that your second season, and you've been coaching, how many years did you just say?
24.
24 years. That means you're a little seasoned. Just a little seasoned.
Just a little bit.
Now, being that this is your second season, you came from the SWAC conference, and you came from your last head coaching job was Southern University. Why the move from Southern to here, and how do you feel about that move today?
Well, I'm ecstatic about it. I think that when you do things, you take your time and you evaluate and you look at it and you try to make sure you put yourself in a position to be successful. And I really dotted the I's and crossed the T's. This is a great institution. It's a hidden gem. I really think that it's a lot of things that we have. We have a great recruiting background. We have great leadership, and I think leadership is what really attracts you to places.
Yeah.
When you talk to Dr. Adams-Gaston, our president, and her belief and her strategic plan for Norfolk State University and what that looks like, you can be confident in where the university is going. Then from an athletic standpoint, Melanie Webb has done an outstanding job of trying to put a blueprint together of what athletics should look like and put her stamp on Norfolk State athletic program. So I'm excited about working for the great leaders that we have. And then you look at the head coaches that we have around us at Norfolk State University and all the people. And I really believe it's a people-driven business. And when you meet them and you get a chance to work with them, we don't always agree. But that's what makes great businesses, is that we're able to put our differences aside to work for the greater cause, and that's the young men and women that go to Norfolk State that we call students.
And that's the thing, and it's student first, student athletes, and I'm glad to hear you say that, because that's the one thing. I've watched you, and while you were at Southern, I paid close attention, and you always had a team until the clock hit triple zeros. You guys never gave up. You guys never quit. And didn't get a chance to see as much of you guys this year at Norfolk State. I think I may have had a chance to watch maybe one game. And I can see your philosophy getting in there with those players. How do you feel about now this being your second season, where things are going to go with the team?
Well, I think we're growing together. I think we're growing as a team. I think you can see the difference between year one and year two, and I think you have a great understanding. It's about relationships. It's hard to build relationships when you get in as late as we did. And I talked to Coach Wilson about it. He asked me when did I get hired. I said late April, and he got hired in June. It's hard to build those relationships. So that's the frustrating part about your first year. And so now year two, you done built those relationships. You kind of know who the parents are. You kind of know what your players are, what they like to do, what's their strengths, what's their weaknesses, and you feel like you're mentoring and being a father to them now because you built trust in them and they built trust in you.
Now, I know last season you guys were going along pretty well, and then all of a sudden in the second half of the season, kind of hit a couple of stumbling blocks. What do you attribute that to for last year?
Well, I think I'm one of those head coaches that I do things totally different than a lot of people. The first year gave me a chance to look at our program from an infrastructure standpoint from top to bottom. Not just from an athletic standpoint, but sometimes you have to look at and evaluate the hand that you're dealt. So what I've looked at is that we're a team that practices in the morning. So if we're going to practice in the morning, we may not have, the best nutrition for our players that early in the morning. So our bodies are going to break down. So as we got to November, we looked like a different team. You could see we had some injuries. We had some guys that go down, but then we didn't have the depth to be able to overcome those injuries. So we increased our numbers. So we're saying if we go practice in the morning, we know that we're going to probably lose a little muscle mass. We're probably going to, from a nutrition standpoint, a sleep standpoint, over the course of time, that wears on you, especially as a football player, because you're in a combat sport. So looking at all those things and trying to implement some things in year 2 that's going to be able to say, okay, how can we be as strong as we need to be in November? And AD understands that. That's why we're able to bring 110 guys to camp and be able to have those numbers, because you have to play the numbers games when sometimes your infrastructure is not set up for success.
You got that right. And more than that, now since you have a full season under your belt, you're able to get in, as you were telling Coach Wilson, now we're able to see the players.
Yes.
Build that relationship.
Yes.
Now, how is your philosophy as a coach being transferred to the field? Do you see that now with that first year under your belt, especially having the spring football game? Do you really see now your philosophy really matriculating with the players?
Year 1, you got to repeat a lot of the things. Year 1, you're trying to make sure the message is consistent, and you're having to repeat that message over and over again. Year 2, you got to remind them. And so it's a big difference, because they know and they respond. So we call it remind and respond in year 2. And then year 3, you're not even gonna have to remind them. They're gonna be the teachers. So it's a process.
It's a process.
And once you get that process in place, it yields results. And I tell people all the time, the best company I ever worked for, Fortune 500 company, was Coca-Cola. And just understanding how process work at Coca-Cola. And once you figure that out, it's just that they're going to hire people. They can hire bad people at Coca-Cola. But when you come to work at Coca-Cola, you're going to be a good person, because that's our process. You're not going to have your problems spill over at Coca-Cola, because we are a place of Coke and a smile, not Coke and a frown. So it's a big difference, because they teach you that over and over again, and that's their process. So I believe in that, and I believe that our process will prevail over time.
I tell you what, that's a very good philosophy. And as you continue to have those players understand and have those players listen to you and just say, hey, look, this is what we believe in, this is what we do. Now for this year, how do you see your team performing? You got the perennial team, which is South Carolina State. A lot of people see North Carolina Central, and we should have the preseason picks. They should be out by now, and I'm not going to pull them up while we're talking. But at the same time, how do you feel you're going to, your team will fare against North Carolina Central, South Carolina State? How do you feel Norfolk State will handle things this year?
Well, I thought we had opportunities a year ago. We just didn't finish those football games. I think this conference has a lot of parity. You can't look at North Carolina Central and South Carolina State. You got to look at everybody as they begin to show up on your schedule, because every week is a fight. It's a lot of parity, a lot of good coaches, a lot of good players. So we feel like our football team is in position to take on the conference, because our discipline is much better. I don't think we lost football games in November last year because of our talent. I really feel like our discipline got the best of us. I think the North Carolina Central game, we had almost 11 penalties. And what I try to tell our players is that we're moved on from our past, but it hurts so bad, we have to sometimes remind ourselves so we don't duplicate the same mistakes. And our guys understand that. They understand that our process is based on discipline, and that means teams have to beat us, we don't beat ourselves. And if we can go forward with that in the process, I think we're gonna have an opportunity to have some success in 2022.
So what do you guys do to have fun? I want to leave everything here. What do you guys do to have fun? Kind of bring some levity to practice.
I mean, we crank up the music. We get strength coach we might have a dance off. The other day we just went and rode go-karts together as a team. So it's fun every day. Like I tell our guys, we don't have to create fun and energy. Practice is fun. They enjoy being out there. They smile, we laugh, and that's what's important.
Okay. I got to stop it right there. A dance off. Can you see Coach Odoms in a dance off? Can you see it? I got to see this, Coach. You got to let me know. I got to bring the camera there. I just want to see Coach Odoms in a dance off.
Okay.
Can you still cut a rug as they used to say?
I might step on a rug. So.
See, but you got to have fun, and you have to show the players that you're still human and that you can still have fun.
Yeah.
And when you do that, that's what it's all about. Well, Coach Odom, I'm going to let you go, but I look forward to be able to work with you this year, and hopefully we can do some things this upcoming fall. But I'm going to keep my eyes on you because while you were at that other school in the SWAC, I watched what you guys brought to the table, and you guys always played my alma mater. No, I'm sorry, you didn't play them hard. You always beat the crap out of them. I went to Jackson State. So need I say anything else? Yeah. I used to hate this guy. Just to be honest. I really didn't like it because every time Coach Odom brought Southern into Jackson State or we went down there, they always found a way to win. That's why I know this guy is nothing less than a winner. And so that's what I'm looking forward to seeing again this year with you. And that's what everyone is expecting from Norfolk State. And I know I have a friend of mine who graduated from Norfolk State. I'm quite sure he interviewed you, Orlando Hughes.
Okay.
And huge Norfolk State grad. And fan. So, but Coach, looking forward to seeing you. So thank you very much, and much success to you.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Sir. So I'll give you this, and I'll also talk to your SID and your AD, and hopefully we can get some things going.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So with Norfolk State, man, this is what we expect of them. And when you see, and you can't see how big Coach Odoms is. Big brother. And I will not make this brother mad. And I will not make him mad at all. He will always be my friend. And as a matter of fact, I want to bring in the coach.
I'm ready to go next.
Oh, you ready to go next?
Yeah, that's what we're waiting for next. I'll come back when I'm done.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so I was trying to bring in the coach from Howard University, but unfortunately, he's getting ready to go up. And that was Coach Scott. And so Coach Scott is getting ready to go up to talk to the media for ESPN. And so I won't be able to talk to him at the moment, but we'll try to get him on as soon as he finishes up with the guys from the other station. And as a matter of fact, as we talk about Howard University, we did get a chance to talk about Howard with a couple of other entities. And one thing we can say is that even with Howard, with the MEAC, there are no easy outs here. You could at one time say that, yeah, we had a couple of easy outs, but not now. But let me go ahead and see if I can bring up a couple of other, one more school that we haven't had the chance to interview, and I'll be right back.
I'm gonna have to get Mike down.
No problem. So, how long will it take? I'll be looking.
Yes, sir. I got it.
All right. So I'll make sure that
Don't let Rob Mills tell you to think about it. I know they didn't that whole lot. So whatever Rob Mills says, stay to say. Oh, I didn't see that coming. Yeah. Come on in, coach.
What do you want me?
As a matter of fact. Oh, cool, thanks.
I'll frame you up. Sit down.
Matter of fact,
Coach, you can sit in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, you sit down. Guys,
one.
come on each side of here, and you guys can share the mic. All right, cool.
Slide up.
Let me see. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, because Coach Pugh said that you guys finished what? he played you guys 3 times.
Mm-hmm. He did?
Last year.
After about your university at like 2:30 in the morning.
Uh-oh. Where you come from?
Philly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we are back, and guess what? We have the guys from Delaware State here with us, but I am not going to say that much. Oh no, I'm going to be off camera, and I just want to make sure, and we only have them for a few minutes before they have to go on stage. But Coach, I'm going to let your players introduce themselves, then I'm going to come over to you. So you can go ahead and introduce yourself. Go ahead.
I'm Bazette Woodley, number 88, wide receiver at Delaware State University.
My name is Kamari Jackson. I play defense, defensive athlete, very versatile. Number 34.
And Coach, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Head football coach Rob Milstead for the Delaware State University Hornets.
And so, and I see some guys coming over, throwing up the signs, throwing up hooks, and I'm going to have to throw all of these guys away because, you know, they're those secondary fraternities, you know, because I'm a Sigma, you know. And
ain't but one. Ain't but one.
Coach, they got a white dog, though, Coach.
But you see, only we can say things about each other. So, Coach, what do you say about how Delaware State is doing this year?
I'm excited. Okay, the years past, we've played a lot of young players, and those young players have matured. They're not freshmen anymore. So we are super excited for what they're doing and how they prepared, and the maturity of our football team since last year.
So, with what we see with this team this year, how do you think they'll be ready? I mean, you finished 3rd in the conference. How do you feel about this year?
We feel really confident. I'll be honest with you. We have the number 1 defense. We lost no one on defense last year to graduation. We lost 4 key players last year on our offense. Our quarterback is coming back, and this is the first year that we've ever had that since I've been the head coach at Delaware State. And he's really commanding our offense to be better. Our offense will look different this year than it has in years past because of the maturity and the way that we developed last year. We realized that we played into a lot of tough games last year, lost 4 games by 6 points or less, and 2 of those were in overtime. Okay, and we had opportunities to win those football games, and we didn't take advantage of it. And we know we left a lot of things on the table. Nowhere are we happy with the way we finished last year, and we want to pick up from where we left off and take it to another level so we can be in Atlanta come December.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I was looking to see whether or not it's been, whether the projections have been sent out, and haven't received them just
I've received them, and I'm not happy with it at all. I'll put it on camera. I'm not happy with it.
And you are projected to finish where?
4th.
projected to finish 4th, and you guys finished actually 3rd.
Exactly.
Last year.
Exactly. So that goes to show what people think of us. Okay. I've never been personally one who cared what people thought of me. You look at my career speaks for itself. Numbers don't lie, people do. So we got to put the numbers up this year. That right there just added more fuel to the fire. And these guys right here, I know they're burning inside because we didn't expect that, but it is, we can only count on what we can control, and we'll be able to control that from Dover, Delaware. We got 8 games in our state. We got 7 at home. So we're going to protect the nest, and we'll see how far we can go with it.
Well, yes, sir. Well, they're calling for you guys right now to get mic'd up and be on stage, and I'm sorry I don't have enough time to really delve into this year, but I do understand how you feel. But I look forward to covering you guys and seeing what we can do. And hopefully, if you don't have a show, a weekly show, let me know. I'd love to be able to cover you guys for each week.
Fantastic. We will. I'll definitely be in contact.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You can just go ahead and grab that. And it's one thing when you have the coaches and you have the players and they feel that they've been disrespected. That's when you truly have players really coming to the table and saying, you know, we're going to show them that, yes, we were disrespected and we should have been higher. We should have been ranked higher. We should have been placed higher than what we were. And as a matter of fact, I'm just receiving it. And we can go ahead and let me see if I can bring this up for you live. And just give me a moment and we will make sure that we bring to you live the preseason projection for the MEAC conference. And as I'm pulling it up on my computer, what I will do is I will make sure that I mention it first as I pull it up. Let's see, it's coming up here. So give me a moment. And here we are. Well, let's see if I can open up this sheet here. And then this way we have a better view of everything that we have. So I apologize, I haven't had the time to put this into my own spreadsheet, but this is literally hot off the press, and I want to make sure that I provide it to you as soon as I get it. So here you are. You have South Carolina State projected to go in first place, followed by North Carolina Central, then Norfolk State in third. Then you have the bottom 3 being Dell State, Howard, and then Morgan State. But as a lot of people have indicated, this is why they play the game. They play the game all because these are just projections. And because these are only projections, eventually someone has to win, and unfortunately someone has to lose. And when these guys come onto the field and they actually play the game, we will see who has the better opportunity, the better chance of actually coming out a winner and actually coming out victor. So it'll be interesting to see how well each team plays and how well each team eventually live up to their predictions. Oh, I did? Okay, good. And how well each team plays up to their predictions, or even go above and beyond what they're projected to do. And just seeing this now it'll be very interesting to see, because a lot of these teams, even though, let's just say you have Coach Wilson, who's projected to finish in 6th place. He's saying, yeah, we're going to do better. We expect to be in the championship game this year, and the championship game being the Celebration Bowl. That's what he's expecting this year. And so it'll be interesting to see whether or not that actually transpires. And if that actually happens, wow, that'll be very interesting for first-year coach to come in, and you're talking about really, really making coming in and really doing what he's doing with the team in his first year. That would say a whole lot for his one team. And just trying to switch up and give a better view here, but I think the picture that I have right now is going to be the best thing for us. We're hoping that we can get the coach in here from Howard University, but if we can, that'll be great. And if not, then we shall see, because we want to make sure we give every team an opportunity for us to sit down and speak to. And if we can, then what we're looking to have is going to be great. So the one thing I do want to find out is how long they take. So hold on just 1 second. And now I have with me the coach from Howard University, and I'm going to let Coach introduce himself. And because Coach Scott, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna let you go ahead and introduce yourself here. So, Coach.
Larry Scott, head coach at the Howard University.
Let's see, I
The real HU.
can't hear you quite well. Let's see why I can't hear you.
Test. Test 1, 2, test.
Well, I'll tell you what, let me just switch up on you.
Test 1, 2.
There you go.
Test,
there
test,
you
test.
go. So go ahead. Talk to me.
Larry Scott, head football coach at the Howard University, the real HU.
See, I like, see, man, that's the only way it's going to be.
No.
Now, Coach, I'm just going to come out right off the bat. And just like I was saying to Mr. Henry from Cricket Wireless, we're both from Mississippi. I'm sorry, let's pronounce it correctly. Mississippi. Yeah. You ain't getting no respect whatsoever.
No. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's okay. Respect's to be earned. We know that. And if you're one of those guys that's looking for somebody to toss respect or toss clout on top of you and really haven't done or proven anything to deserve that and earn that, you need to check yourself. So at the end of the day, you get what you deserve. And right now, that's where we sit right here today. But I promise you that won't be the case in the next coming months.
Because I tell you, looking at what you guys did last year, before you took over, Howard was not a good team. What I saw last year is that you guys play a pretty good brand of football. You guys, and I've seen this in a lot of schools. This has happened in the SWAC with what we used to call schools that you could almost count as a win. The Mississippi Valleys of the world and also Texas Southern. In the SWAC, there are no easy wins.
Right.
Now, when you look at the MEAC, there are no easy wins as well.
No, they're not. Every week is a dogfight. You know, you look at the 5 conference games that you do play, and I think if you go across the board and look at everybody playing each other, there was never any lopsided one-way wins. There were nail biters all the way down to the fourth quarter, all the way down to the end. And I think, and that just shows you the magnitude of the talent and how good, once we get into conference play, how competitive it truly is. And then those guys, when you came up in the challenges with the MEAC SWAC challenge, I think the MEAC owns that 11-4. And then you look at the last few Celebration Bowl, the MEAC has come rolled out of those as victorious. So at the end of the day, I think the competitiveness that comes through within the conference is what kind of carries us and spills us over into those deals when we're out of conference and doing things like that.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I brought it up a couple of times with some of the other individuals that were here, and want to bring it up again for what Coach Scott is alluding to. And as you can see, Coach Scott is alluding to the MEAC SWAC challenge.
Correct.
And it speaks for itself.
Right. Absolutely it does.
You 11-4.
Well,
you guys, and the reason why I brought up the comment about they're not getting any respect is because Howard University plays Alabama State.
Yes.
And you guys play Alabama State in the next iteration of the 2022 MEAC SWAC Challenge.
Yep.
How do you feel about going into that game? Because, as I said, you're not getting any kind of respect whatsoever.
I feel great. We're excited about it. And what a stage to have an opportunity to show what we've been in the lab working on, up in the Mecca between Georgia and 7th Ave and Green Stadium and the Bird Gymnasium, and to show what's been being built behind the shadows and what we've been working on, and how we've just been, our daily approach towards making sure we put ourselves in the best position to be as good as we want to be is what we're excited about. We get a chance to put that product on national TV on a stage that you can't ask for a bigger one and a better one for. So we're excited about it. We're also still hungry. We still got a chip on our shoulders. We still know there's work to be done. We're inside that 30-day window already of getting that work done to make sure we're ready to go. And I think it'll be an exciting brand and an exciting time for everybody to watch what we can actually go out and do.
I can't wait. I'm scheduled to be at the MEAC SWAC Challenge game, but I was contacted to see if I could do something else on the same exact date. I have to wait and see which one wins out. We'll see, but I intend to be at that game. If I don't attend, I'll be watching.
I think everybody who has an opportunity to be in the building will want to be in the building that night.
Yes. Now, in terms of Howard University, the one thing I must ask, and this is outside of football, the fans. The one thing, you guys, yes, Howard University is the Mecca. As far as HBCU goes, I graduated from Jackson State. My son graduated from Florida A&M. Several cousins that graduated from Alcorn. Others went to Prairie View, and others across the country. But in terms of the fans and the travel, don't really travel that much. Why do you think that's the case?
Well, I think it's a multitude of things. You know, the travel can get pretty extensive when you're coming from Washington D.C. and you're visiting a school that's in the footprint of the South and South Carolina and Florida and those type of places. So there's a multitude of reasons, and also we want to make sure that the product that they're supporting and putting their resources and finances and time into is one that they're proud of, one that they go and understand that we're competitive and have a chance to to win and make them proud and those type of things. So I think a lot of it too falls in our lap to make sure we're instilling that confidence in what we're doing and who we are and proud of the product that we're putting out there on the field for them to rally behind and do. And I really hope that we're going to start to do that, and I hope people get on board and come be a part of that change with us.
Understand. And with the last thing that I do want to bring up again is you're projected to finish 5th out of 6 schools.
Yep.
How do you feel about where the prognosticators are saying where you guys should finish?
That's just it. The prognosticators, that's what their job is to do, is to prognosticate, I guess. So at the end of the day, we control our destiny.
Yes.
No prediction, no one thinks or feels, controls what we do and what our approach is and what our mindset and mentality is. That is what it is. That's where we're seen. That's how we're viewed, and it's up to us to change that. And we only can do that through our preparation, through our process, and on a game-by-game basis is go out and prove, the how you say it again?
Prognosticators.
Prognosticators wrong.
and this is why you play the game. And this is what we tell a lot of people. You have to play the game.
Yep.
And when you play the game, when you put on the shoulder pads, when you are in between the lines, that's where the game is actually decided, instead of saying, well, I think you guys are going to finish dead last, or I think you guys are going to finish first this year.
Yep, absolutely.
I really don't matter. He matters. His student athletes matter. And when they hit the field, week 0, August 27th,
yes.
7 p.m. against Alabama State, everything is over. All the wondering is done. We play football. August 27th, week 0.
And we can't wait. We're excited. Atlanta, here comes the Bison. Hope you guys are ready for it. Our alumni down there, the whole city of Atlanta, all those things, cricket, the sponsors and everybody. We're coming down to put on a show and give everybody what they've been waiting for, some good football.
I heard, I don't know where I heard this from. I'm going to say this and I'm going to let you go. I literally heard somewhere 12-4. Right now, the record is 11-4.
Yeah.
I literally heard somewhere this week 12-4. Do you think that's going to happen?
That's what we're going after. That is surely the goal. That's the mindset. That's the mentality, and that's what we're going to do.
And I've heard it more than once. I'm just being very honest. I'm not trying to put anything out there. I grew up in the SWAC, still a SWAC guy, but I report on football. And I remember hearing that statement, and it'll be kind of interesting to see what actually transpires August 27th. Absolutely. And I'm going to have eyes and ears on that game. If I'm not there, trust me, I will be streaming.
Absolutely.
Well, Coach, the one thing I have to say more than anything else, much success to you, not only in that game, but also the rest of the season. And I look forward to a lot of big things happening in the MEAC, because there were no blowouts.
No.
I mean, gosh, you guys lost your games by
3 to South Carolina State down there in Orangeburg, and the other games would come, rolling back and be 1 and 2 score games all the way down to the end.
All of them.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to a lot of stuff happening with you guys. So, Coach, again, thank you very much. And if there's anything that I can do in terms of having a sports show with you, a weekly sports show, you let me know.
Absolutely.
I'll give your AD and SID a call.
Okay, sure will.
Be blessed and be safe.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And this is how the story ends for this year. And with the coach here, Coach Scott, with the Howard Bison, it's just going to be a lot of fun this year to watch football. And with Coach Scott being the last interview, I'm going to go ahead and close it off today. And it's been a pleasure being here. We had a chance to cover all 4 conferences, the CIAA, SIAC, the SWAC, and now we're ending up with the MEAC. And as much as I have to admit, the Mecca, Howard University. And we can say, give Harvard all of the accolades that we, whatever. But you got to give it to Howard University. They are the HBCU of all. And bottom line is Howard and everyone else is there too. But they are the Mecca. And I graduated from Jackson State, but yet and still, you got that too. And what we see with Howard, yes, students first, athletes second. And with all of that being said, make sure you support your favorite HBCU that's out there. And if you never played a sport, that's fine. If you never participated in any of the intramural sports, that's fine. But just make sure you support your school. If you didn't graduate from an HBCU, find an HBCU. The vice president, guess where she graduated from? Howard University. Guess what? She is my Divine Nine sister. She is an AKA. Support an HBCU. And with all of that being said, football season, August 27th, 7 p.m., Howard University in Atlanta, Georgia. If you don't watch it, show up, be a part of the crowd, be a part of the volume. But make sure you support. And with that being said, may God bless. See you guys next week as we do a complete wrap of all 4 conferences, the projections, and looking forward to the year. So have a good one. God bless, and see you next week.